Welcome everyone to this week's video. I have a big old hunk of hickory here. This is a piece that I processed up several years back, and yeah, we're gonna spin her up and see what we can make. Pretty sure it's gonna be a bowl, but it is pretty heavy piece, and I am not able to spin up very fast. I think I'm at like 390, so it'll be a little slow going at the first until I get it rounded. It's got quite a few wormholes. It does have some spalting. I don't know if the spalting will stick around. It just depends. We'll see whenever I get it rounded and what we got going. Like I said, unfortunately it's got some wormholes, and I'm sure they're further in than I want them to be, but we'll address those when we get to the shape. Okay, I put some sanding sealer on it. I don't think that that's going to help much. I just wanted to try to see if I could stiffen up the fibers a little bit, but that's still very spongy. It's still going to break away. Yeah, it's still pretty in rough shape, but I'm going to work on some of this and see about it. I did put a little bit of CA glue down in this crack, but I don't think that did much either. So let me cut this back some more, see what I can do about it. Alright, so now I gotta make a decision about filling these. This is a concern. That crack goes here. That's an issue. Gotta do something with that. And this, oh, she's just barely hanging on there. So I've got to get it glued down and filled with something. I will bring you guys back whenever I make up my mind what I'm gonna do with these guys. I am going to put ground up shell. This is shell that I put into like a little coffee grinder. It's little seashells. Let me see if you guys can see that. They're kind of sparkly, but I was trying to think of what I had that was tiny enough that would work on something like this. So this is my plan, is we're going to fill it full of the shell and CA glue, and hopefully I have enough of that. All right, let's get started. Probably gonna wish I had my fine tip on here. Have a little more control. We're going to let that set for a while. Give that CA glue plenty of time to cure up. Okay, so here we are. Back on the lathe. And I think I'm going to start out with my carbide, see about knocking some of this back. The only concern about using a carbide is it can tear up the wood. But I'm going to see about knocking some of this back first, and then I may move on to just some sanding, because I got some pretty good chunks still here. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so I have got to refill some of these little spots. There's a couple after turning and sanding, and then it opened up a few more wormholes that I've got to address. I know I need to sand that again. I may run the sander over it, and this crack is just giving me nothing but trouble. So I have got to do some filling on it again. But you kind of know the process, so I will work on this and get the bottom sanded, get everything, and I'll bring you guys back whenever we've got it flipped around and we can start working on the center. Okay, well, that was quite the chore. I ended up having to use a little bit of 5-minute epoxy. I don't, you guys can't see it, the camera angle isn't right, but to fill in some of the spots. I've used every CA glue that I have, black, brown, thin, clear, and I sanded it up to 320 and I put sanding sealer on it. Now we're going to hope that this tenon holds up, because this wood is super soft and just brittle. It just wanted to break apart. If I make it off the lathe in one piece or without throwing her off the lathe, I'll explain more about some of the other problems that I ran into. So we're going to start facing this off and getting the middle turned. So here we go. Get geared up and we'll get to spinning and hope things stay where they're supposed to. Okay, a little sanding on it. Now I'm going to take it over and to the workbench and fill a gazillion wormholes. And I probably won't take you guys over there with me since you see me work on the outside. I will bring you back whenever if I do take the tool back to it, I may just go ahead and sand it. Alright, I'll bring you guys back in a little bit. Okay, so after lots and lots of sanding and lots of CA glue and all that business, I am going to wipe it down with some denatured alcohol, and then I'm going to get some sanding sealer on it. I will probably put a couple of coats of that on there, and then we'll get on with the rest of the finishing. Get all that dust up out of there. This wood is just so, I don't know how else to explain it but tender. It was such a struggle with the sanding and everything. When you have super soft spots, then you're constantly chasing stuff away. Okay, let's move on to some sanding sealer. Alright, let's go on with some Yorkshire grit sanding paste. Okay, let's turn her around and get her bottom off. Okay, I am going to be using part of my donut chuck as a jam chuck. I couldn't use the top to compress it because my opening wasn't big enough on my top piece of my jam chuck. I am somewhat concerned because this is such soft, messed up wood. So I will do as much of it as I can on here and hopefully don't have an issue. But I may end up having to finish off some of it off the lathe. But we'll go at it slow and easy, and hopefully nothing bad happens. Let me get geared up and let's get going. Okay, better not push it any further. So I'm going to get this off. I got a lot of wormholes down here to fill and some sanding. So I'll probably do that off camera. You guys have seen some of that. And I'll bring you back whenever I get done and we'll have a talk about it. Alright, here we are at the end of another one. Pretty good size bowl. I like the size. I like the shape. The wormholes were a challenge, and the fact that the wood was pretty rotten and the sapwood was so soft in this piece. I've turned lots of hickory before, so the heartwood is super hard, and then you do have a softer sapwood, but this one was a lot softer. And then combined with all the rot and the wormholes, made it even more challenging. I don't believe that the shell was the right choice for this piece because of it being so hard, and with the inlay into the sapwood, whenever I went to sand it back, I was just getting into the wood around it. So like right through here, there's like a ridge. Let me bring it up. I don't even know if I need to bring it up. You can see the coloration of that ripple of that color, which was a little bit harder, but this gray part was definitely rot. But right in here, have a dip. Whenever I was trying to sand this down or get some of these other pieces where the shell was. And you know, that's also why you should not overfill your wherever you're inlaying, especially if you're dealing with a harder inlay. Be better off to bring the wood down to that inlay than overfill it, and I was definitely overfilling it. You know, up here, not bad. I do still have some little, anyway, she's just inconsistent on how, you know, if you take a tool, you're going to be turning and making it smooth. Same way on the outside. This spot right here, big old flat spot, and it's just because that wood was so much softer, a little more flat there. I was having trouble being able to get in here to sand, which made my foot flat over here, because even with a 320 grit, it was shaping the wood. The other problem was with some of the CA. I had a lot of staining, even though I would put the sanding sealer on it. So that was frustrating with all that. I used every kind of CA glue I had. I used the brown, the black, the clear. So yeah, here she is in all of her glory. Wormholes and wormholes and wormholes. Like I said, I like hickory because of the coloration, where you've got the really deep, rich browns and into the lighter and back in. This just happened to be a piece that probably shouldn't have been turned, but it did it anyway. So there we go. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by, taking the time out of your busy day to watch my video. It means a lot to me. Thank you to everyone that subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, jump on down and hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. Hit the bell and it'll remind you when my videos come out. I try to put a video out once a week. If you think your friends and family would enjoy some of my projects, share that. And don't forget to give me the thumbs up if you liked it. Again, thank you for stopping by, and I'm going to put her in the picture box. And I want you guys to have a great day, and we'll see you on the flip side.